Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm, and in this video we are going to add some collectibles to our game. As a reminder, this is what our game looks like. We can jump around, we can run, do all kinds of cool stuff, but it's kind of boring. There's nothing in this game area for us to actually interact with. So the first thing we need to do to create a new a pickup is what we're going to call them. Coin, whatever. Mine's going to be a battery. The first thing we need to do is create a new node. And I don't mean a node inside of this scene. We're going to create its own separate node as an object, right? So I'm going to click that little plus button to get a new tab. And we don't want any of these nodes either. We're going to look for a node called Area 2D. Area 2D. Let's go ahead and click Create. Area 2D. And I'm going to rename this to Pickup. You can call yours Collectable or Coin or whatever it is that you want. It's completely up to you. Now for this, I'm going to need a sprite. And this is actually going to be an animated sprite because my pickup is animated. Now I already have my artwork here. Remember, whenever you bring in new artwork, you want to turn off the filter. I've already done that, so I'm good there. I'm going to come over here and go to my animated sprite, and I'm going to add new sprite frames. Sorry, I can't talk. And I'm going to click this waffle button here, and I will select the battery pickup. 4 horizontal frames and 1 vertical. Now, if your pickup is not animated, then you don't have to do all this. You can just do a regular sprite. But if you want an animated sprite, you can do so just by going through the steps to create an animation like we've done before. So if we look here, I now have my battery. Let's go ahead and turn on that animation so we can see what it looks like. All right, it looks pretty good to me. I like it. Okay. Now the other thing we need is we're going to need a collider. So a collision shape 2D. We'll go ahead and create one of those. And let's give it a rectangle. Looks good to me. All right, and I'm just going to make it just generally fit this thing here. Okay, perfect. So now we have a collider, we have a sprite. Now the last thing we are going to need is a script, and that script is going to handle what happens to this thing whenever we bump into it. So I'm going to select my pickup object here and then click script. And we can keep it pickup.gd. That works for me. Let's go ahead and delete all of this stuff here. Now, the only thing that matters on this is bumping into anything, really. We just want to make it so that anytime something bumps into this, then it does something, right? So we actually don't have the option to set up those signals yet until we add this into a level or into another scene. So let me show you how that's done. Let's first save all of this. Save scene. We want to save this in our objects folder as pickup. There we go. So now we have that. If we go back to level 1, what we can do is we can add a pickup to our level by clicking this link button here. And we select pickup and click open. All right. Now we have it right here. We can kind of put it wherever we want in the level. Okay. So now that we have it in our scene, we can then go to the node and look at the signals that we have available to us. The one that we want is body entered. That's the one we're looking for. So let's go ahead and double click that signal. Let's link it up with the pickup. There we go. On pickup body entered. All right, and all we need to do is just type Q free. What this is going to do is anytime something bumps into this object, it's going to get deleted. Now, Let's make sure that all of that is there, and that's good. Let's save all scenes. Perfect. So if I were to go to this script, take a look, it's there, it's updated. Perfect. Alrighty. Now what I can do is, let's test it real quick. All right, so when I bump into this thing, it should go away. And it does. All right, it's working perfectly. Let's add a couple more. So all we have to do is just link up a couple more objects or a couple more pickups. Let's go back to, and we'll put one there, and let's do another one. Another pickup. Oh, that's a child. I don't want that to be a child of that. I want it to be a child of my main scene. There we go. And let's put it right there. Okay. So now all three of these should be disappearing when I bump into them. Ooh, that one doesn't, and that one doesn't. Okay, let's figure out why. Oh, it's because these signals weren't matched up. So let's come back over here. Let's do the signal in here so that it actually works. So on body entered, connect there, connect. There we go. So we'll save that. Now we can see all those signals. They work for all three pickups. So that's why it's important to work inside the object itself. That way any change you make gets applied to everything within your project. Okay, so now they should all work. I can go bump into all of them and they all go away. Perfect. Okay, so now our pickup is working generally the way we want it to. The next thing we want to do is we want to add a HUD, something that pops up on our screen that shows us how many pickups we've collected. So this is actually pretty easy to do. If we add a new, we can add a new node to our scene. The node we're looking for is called Canvas Layer. Canvas Layer. There we go. Canvas Layer. Now this is going to act as like a container for all of the HUD objects that we're going to use. The first thing we're going to add is a kind of like a background, a little bit of like a section where we can put some text, and it's going to be in our HUD instead of in the game itself. So as a child of the canvas layer, let's look for a panel. All right, panel, there we go. Now, this panel is now up in the very top right-hand corner of, or top left-hand corner of my screen. I'm going to make it just a bit bigger, drag it away from the corner of the screen here. Now, if I were to play the game, you see now I have that panel that's stuck in the top corner of my game. That doesn't look very good, so let's go ahead and change it. So with my panel object selected, I can come over here to theme and add a new theme. And actually, I think, yeah, I want to go to theme overrides and go to new style box flat. There we go. And now I can edit this theme. I can give it a background color. Here's a nice trick with background color. This A right here is the alpha value, meaning the transparency. If I lower that, then it makes my panel a little bit transparent, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to make it a little bit more transparent. Looks good. I'm going to, let's change the corner radius so it has like a rounded corner. I'll do 10 on all corners. And if we zoom in, you can see that now it's rounded on the corner instead of a square. I think that's good for now. All right, now next we want to add some text. Now there are a couple ways we can do this. One, we can add a texture rectangle to this panel, and then we can take a picture and drop it up in the texture, and then it totally works, right? The problem is that it's, for my purposes, you can see I have all 4 frames of the battery in there, which I don't want. And I can kind of play around with this, but it's still not going to be what I want. So I'm not going to use a texture rectangle. If you have a single picture of your collectible that you want to use, you can just pop it up there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to delete that, is I'm just going to use some actual text. So I'm going to find a label, and that label is going to, let's make it nice and big. That label up here in the text box is going to be pickups. Sure. I can call, actually, I'm gonna say batteries, because that's what it is in my game. It's a battery. Now this font is boring. It's not great, right? So what we can do is we can actually use new fonts. If we go to theme overrides, fonts, we can create a new dynamic font. And if I click on new dynamic font and go to font, now this font data section is where I can drop any font files that I have in my project. And I actually have some fonts here. I have Cyber Sky and Moonhouse. And I think Moonhouse is the font I was using for my HUD. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see if I can make it a little bit better. I'm going to go to settings and size. I'm going to increase the size. Let's make it like 30. Okay. I'm going to have to make this bigger here. Maybe. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to spend too much time messing around with it. You're going to want to make yours look as good as possible. And again, I can change the outline here. I can give it a nice outline. I can change the font color. I can do all kinds of stuff. I can turn on a filter. Yeah. Anyway, you can play around with that as much as you want. Now, I'm going to actually rename this to just... actually, I'll keep it label. The next thing is going to be the most important. The next thing is going to be actually like the counter for the amount of batteries I have in my game, right? This next thing is going to actually be programmed. So we're going to write a script that will change that value. It's still going to be a label, but I want to name it something like pickup or battery label. Let's do pickup label so it's more universal. Pickup label. Okay. Now the pickup label, it's going to go over here. It's going to use the same font. Moonhouse. And I'm just going to put 00. And let's make it bigger. 30 looks good. Okay. Perfect. Now when I play my game, I have my label up there and I can pick up my batteries, but it doesn't change the amount of batteries that I'm picking up, right? So we need to figure out how to update this number so that it does something different. All right. So there's actually a really kind of easy way to do this. What we need to do is we need to create a script that will basically update this text. We're going to apply the script to this canvas layer object. Or should we apply it to the pickup layer? Yeah, let's apply it here. Why not? Oh no, you know what? Yeah, let's apply it to the canvas layer. Let's apply it there. That's the parent object. Okay. Create. Perfect. So we have a new script in here called canvas layer. Now what we want to do in here is we want to create a variable that's going to handle how many pickups we have. We're going to start at 0, right? And then in the ready function, we just want to update the text on our pickup label to equal whatever pickups is, right? So let's do $, and we'll choose pickup label, and we'll say .text equals. Now, if we just put pickups in here, then that's going to be an issue. The reason why is because pickups is a certain type of variable. It's an integer variable, and this needs to be a string. So we need to actually turn it into a string. So we need to type string, and then inside the parentheses, we can type pickups. Okay? So that's how we're going to make that work. Now, if we run, notice that instead of saying 0, 0, it says 0. The reason why is because pickups is set to 0. If I were to change this to be, I don't know, 24, when I run the game, it'll say 24. So that's how we're going to update the label. Now the last thing we need is we just need a way to connect the action of picking up a battery to this script here in this object, or in this HUD here. So let's go to our 2D scene. And let's just choose one of our batteries here. What we need to do is we need to go into the script for this specific battery here, and we need to create a new signal. So let's open up the script here. Inside this script, we need to create a new signal. So signal, we'll say pick up collected. All right. And then what we need to do is, before we delete the battery, we need to emit a signal, and it's going to be pickup collected. So that's going to basically send a signal out to the universe that says, hey, we just picked up something. We picked up a thing. Let's go ahead and save that. And all of our batteries, because they have this pickup script attached to them, they all have that new signal attached to them. So if we go here and we go to the node, we can see we now have a custom script called pickup collected. So in order to connect that to my HUD here, my canvas layer, all I have to do is select my first battery, double click here, and find my HUD, my canvas layer. Now down here, this receiver method on pickup collected, that's a bit redundant and it's going to get weird. So I'm going to delete this part and just leave on pickup collected. And I'm going to select connect. And that's going to create this new function inside my canvas layer script called on pickup collected. And so when I collect something, when the new pickup is collected, then I want to change this variable here. We'll go back to 0. I want to change pickups to equal pickups plus 1. Then I want to call the ready function again, which is basically just going to update the text on the screen. So ready. Okay. Now that should be working. Let's go ahead and save all scenes and let's test it out. So my batteries are at 0. If I jump up, hey, I picked up my battery and it changed to 1. But it's not working for the other two. Here's why. If we go into my scene, our pickup for pickup 1 has that signal that is linked to that area. But that signal isn't linked on my second node or on my second pickup or my third. So for every pickup in your game, you need to link this to the HUD script or to the canvas layer script. So again, it's pretty easy. You just double click, you go down here, go to on pickup collected, just like before. Oh, I attached it to the wrong thing. I attached it to my player. That is a mistake. Let's go back. It's easy to fix this mistake. Let's just disconnect. Double click. Make sure I select my canvas layer. Then we update the receiver method, connect. And because it's already there, it doesn't create a new method. It just goes, oh, you're going to link it to that method. So it makes it pretty easy. Do the same thing here. Select my canvas layer. And connect. So now at this point, everything should be working properly. So let's play. 0 batteries, 1 battery, 2 batteries, 3 batteries, and we win. Perfect. So with that, you should be able to add collectibles, animated collectibles to your game, and you should be able to set up all the signals so that you can collect those collectibles and update your HUD, which we've also created. Spend some time playing around with your HUD, trying to make it look as nice as possible. I was going quick so that I can get this video over with and you guys wouldn't have to sit here and watch me, fiddle around with design stuff. but you should take some time messing around with a HUD, make it look as nice as you can get it. All right, that's it for me. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.